Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed that little edit. Trying to keep it a little spicy for these unit reviews that I'm going to be doing. Now, before we start anything, what I want to do is just give you a last final look at this giveaway that we're doing this week on the 3 videos released. So last Monday, last Wednesday, and today's video, all part of the giveaway. So make sure that if you have not seen those videos, if you have not subscribed, and if you have not commented the answers to the two questions I asked you to post in the comments, make sure that you guys go back. I'll put links in the description below, and make sure that you have posted on every single video so that you get all your chances to win this $50 prize. One more time, this will be released. The winner will be released on Monday, so this is this coming Monday, November 5th. So make sure you get that in before Sunday night when I make the winning video. With that said, guys, this video is probably going to be short and sweet. If you have not bothered to look at this banner, I mean, it is kind of a big letdown. You know, looking at these units, if we go into Buu over here, I mean, it's the kind of thing where there was so much potential and we received so much letdown. The issue is with these spells, I mean, I wanted him to be good, and his name is Majin Buu Good, and it should be Majin Buu Mediocre, because, you know, you look at the super. At first I was excited, because these are one of those undodgeable supers that you can use to bait, I guess, less experienced players into vanishing. So that's great. Gives a strike damage buff. That's great. I moved on, and this is where the disappointment started. So it reduces the next damage sustained by 15%. Basically what this means, you know, the way the translation works, it's not very clear. But the way this works is that you receive a buff, and the buff reduces the next incoming damage until the end of that combo, right? So if your opponent starts striking you, and he uses 4 cards or whatever amount of cards, it will maintain that buff the whole duration. I mean, it's okay. Soft body, where you recover 10% of damage received after enemy attack is over. So now if you were to pop your skill card here, reduce the damage by 15%, and have soft body come on, it wouldn't actually give you the full damage that would have been taken reduced by 15%, but you know, getting 10% of the full damage. No, it's going to give you back 10% of the damage received. So this actually nerfs your healing. Now you can argue, oh, but it nerfs the damage you're taking. Honestly, in a meta where people are one-shotting you, where the likes of Gotenks and Super Saiyan 2 Gohan exist, I mean, your green unit, meh. Even Gogeta runs a serious number on Majin Buu right now. There's just too much damage going out that this will matter. Plus, I mean, you can get hit by a regular attack like a Ki Blast, and it'll actually remove that buff for the skill card here. So not too worried about this whatsoever. If I see a Majin Buu on the enemy team, I'm just going to kill him, period. You know, and the rest of his abilities, I mean, that's the extent of it, right? He has this no switching here, and it happens for 5 seconds when he switches onto the battlefield. It just activates twice. Obviously, kind of a skill cap or a skill ceiling, where the better you are at the game, the more you understand the intricacies, you'll be able to make better use of this, obviously. So, I mean, 5 seconds though, you know, this is fine, but for the bigger portion of when you're going to be switching Majin Buu in, it's going to be after a combo, it's going to be possibly during a combo, you know, neutral moments or combo moments. These are not times to be having this no switching, right? At some point you're going to fall back into neutral, and this is where you can kind of get taken over. Whereas Bardock's, for example, because it lasts so much longer, you can actually go through a couple neutral screens and switch in other characters and so on and so forth. This does not give you all that much time. It is good. There are going to be cases where this is game breaking, the same way Bardock's is. But I mean, if this would have been longer and activates once maybe, or you know, something that is more controlled, you know, because Bardock, you can switch him in without having to use his main ability. The fact that you have to switch Buu in and use it right away, and it's just kind of automatic, that's a problem when you're trying to maintain priority, right? You can't be wasting it for no reason. So for this main ability, healing. So healing is back on a meta character, if you want to call him meta, I guess, kind of. It cancels attribute downgrades. They're releasing a lot of this, and here's the thing, guys. These units, right? You're looking at Majin Buu specifically in this case. I feel like they're releasing units that should be released later, but because they're released now, will make later units feel less overpowered. So I feel like we're going to get a bunch of units that are going to have, these attribute downgrades or buffs or whatever, right? Maybe it's when we level up. So for example, when we level up from 1500 up to, let's say, 2000 or whatever it is, maybe then the health will be much higher. So that 10% soft body will actually matter a lot, right? Maybe the 15% damage reduction will matter a lot. Maybe this 20% health will matter a lot. Right now we're in kind of, Dragon Ball Legends time of the one-shots, right? With all these gimmicks of buffs, even Super Saiyan Shallot, if all the stars align, is doing like 125% more strike damage. Something ridiculous, So all of this is very underwhelming right now. The biggest offender on the list, though, is definitely Dabura. I mean, you guys know how hype I was if you watched my original kind of preview to the patch video. I thought great things were coming with Dabura, and what do? We have no tag. There is no tag down here. None. They completely skipped the Otherworld tag. This could have been a great fit to go with Janemba. They had the Gogeta with the tag. There would have been Pycon. They could have made a fusion theme where fusion, the being that is created out of fusion actually comes from the other world or something like that. And had Gotenks in on it. You would have had some support units. You would have had it would have been a great direction to go where you could use all those tags. So you could have Gogeta, for example, on the Saiyan team. You could have Gotenks on the hybrid team, and then you could also have a separate team that uses these individually strong units, and would have been the Otherworld team. Very disappointed that he has no tag. On top of it, he is a blue unit. How are you going to make an independent unit blue, the one least desirable color in the game right now? Really, really just unfortunate. Looking at his blue card, Jasmine Inflict Paralyze. So Dabura has this theme of inflicting things to his opponent and keeping himself not afflicted, if that makes sense. Which is great. He's known for the whole spitting on Piccolo and Krillin and turning them to stone. This is all fine. I'm okay with this, actually. The animation looks really good. But then you go down here. So restores his own ki by 30. This is fine. This is 21 free ki. You guys know that I'm a fan of Bardock's, for example, and restoring free ki. Reduces next damage sustained by 10%. Again, this is worse than Majin Buu's even. So it's cheap to start with. You're reducing it by 10%. But unless you're chaining them on, like, you end up kind of hoarding like 2 or 3 of them, and then you plan on getting hit. Like, I'm sorry, this is not how the game is played. You don't plan on getting hit. And it's so easily removed. I mean, just no. I am not okay with this at all. Looking at the main ability, again, right? Looking at this whole nullifying 3 attribute downgrades and all that, I feel like this is more something for the future. So he is very, very, very weak to just bring out for little debuffs like this. Not worth it. Nothing serious with the main ability. Stone Spit. So this is what kind of makes the Dabura an interesting solo unit. He steals 1 enemy card slot at random. So he gets onto the battlefield, and for 10 timer counts, he's going to steal a card. So Buu gets on the battlefield, he locks you in for 5 seconds, and the Dabura gets on the battlefield, he ends up locking one of your cards for 10 seconds. Okay, I'll say that this is fine. This is a new mechanic. We haven't seen this before, but again, this is not enough to make the unit worthwhile. I'm not going to bring a Dabura ever. There's no reason for it. Locking 1 card at best, the absolute best that you can hope for is that you catch that 1 card that would have given your opponent the Rising Rush. That can be game breaking. Sure. How do you know? You don't. So you're kind of guessing. Kind of like how you're trading off Majin Buu's ability to lock people in if you need to switch him in to maintain priority with your Vanish, right? Just very, very poor setup here. And then anti-hybrid Saiyan, I think this is hilarious because the one team that has nothing but damage, well, he's reducing their damage, right? Which is funny, but he's getting no buffs. I mean, this health right here, it's not even 600,000. He is getting no buffs from a team because he doesn't have a team. So, I mean, hybrids are going to absolutely two-shot him no matter what. It doesn't matter if he has that reduction to their blast or anything like that. I mean, just bring in Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and just punch him in the mouth and watch him drop dead. There is no reason to use this character whatsoever. I am sorry, Dabura, but you have let me down. As far as Gotenks goes, we can have a quick look. I didn't include him just because I didn't pull him, but I mean, for what he brings, and we're going to skim very quickly because I think that this is just a trap unit. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is tons more worthwhile than this unit. So here, his super here reduces the Vanish gauge recovery. This is fine for the future when we have more units like Janemba, where they can actually stay on the field even if their Vanish is down. But I mean, it costs you 60. Meh. As it is right now, people are just switching out anyways, or you know, it's getting replenished when they get hit, so it doesn't matter. This is kind of cool. You increase your special move and has a 70% chance to inflict faint. Yes, but again, the thing with releasing more units that do more damage on a team, which is speaking about the hybrids right now, on a team that has nothing but damage, this is not what they needed. They did not need more damage. You know, the donut here, Galactic Donut, this could have been a form of CC, which is crowd control if you're not familiar with gaming lingo. What that means is it could have did something like, I don't know, stunning them, inflicting faint. Here you have the whole 70% chance to inflict faint, so this is great, but you're using up 80 or what is it, 74 of your key to pull this off. I mean, it's hard times. It's hard times, guys. You know, his ultimate here, 40% chance to inflict paralyze. You know, and this kind of goes back to what I was saying, where the team needed some crowd control, and I feel like they knew that, so they tried to inject it in the form of this, but because the costs are so high, you know, this takes up his main ability here. And now you're going to do damage, and you can inflict paralyze, and this is a very good attack. That's the thing. Gotenks is a good unit on his own, but the fact that he shares the purple spot with Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and so you can bring both. So that's you have no closer at that point. It's just they fumbled. They dropped the ball here. So obviously the main ability, you pick up your card. Is the ability, the Fusion Warrior, 20%. So we'll see later on what other kind of fusion characters we get. You know, if we get, for example, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, if we get, you know, the blue versions of Gogeta and so on and so forth, maybe down the road we're going to have something that stands on 2 feet. This key recovery is great, sure, but sidestep is out, so nobody really cares. let's call it what it is. Maybe you'll get blast cards faster so that you can stay in longer instead of switching out when you don't have Vanish. Maybe, but that feels like a really bad way of looking at it. And lastly, 40% to blast damage inflicted from battle start. So essentially, you need to win the first neutral screen, or this character's value drops immensely. So again, I would rather have Gohan, where if he's the last unit, he can make a comeback, as opposed to this, where, you know, maybe you use your Vanish, you finish a combo, and then you have to switch out, and that's the end of it, right? So I'm just trying to find positive things to say about this banner. I really tried, guys. The kind of opening animation was as positive as I could possibly be about it, but I was just really disappointed. This was their chance to make Hybrid Saiyans and Regeneration top tier with these amazing units that were coming out, you know, kind of crowd favorites, and they didn't. Plain and simple, they did not do that. So without further ado, guys, we're gonna end it for this video. I hope you guys had a great Halloween, and have yourself a great day. Bye.